Is the thug life really worth it? Now, if you're black watching this video, I'm gonna just say it right now. Those two words alone probably already made you feel like you want to throw up a couple of sets that you don't rep and say that you're from this hood when in reality you live in the whitest part of the neighborhood. Snap back into reality. But in all seriousness, the term thug life used to actually mean something. A person who started out with nothing and built themselves up to something. And while that may sound good hearing it, nowadays the thug life has turned into something very irreversible. And looking at what has been going on in 2023 and pretty much the previous couple of years, I started to notice more and more thugnificent activity out there. I mean, it has literally become a real life GTA server and everyone is fighting for their lives like it's 1000 BC. I mean, it feels like nowadays if you aren't repping a set, throwing up gang signs saying you're from O Block and you're from this, and next thing you know you end up being in the gated community. I mean, nowadays even rap culture has just become at an all-time low and truly the definition of utter garbage. And nowadays all you have when it comes to rap is thugging, drugging, the usual flexing on people and showing how much money they got. I'm talking about Lil Pump all over again. I thought this stuff died out in 2017 to 2018. Who remembers the days on YouTube where everyone was just flexing how much money they had, flexing how much cash they got in a bank account? And nowadays you're pretty much seeing that with rap. And while that pretty much should have died back then, it has pretty much never changed. And I think majority of us will sit here and ask the question over and over again. When will it change? When will all of this last? It can't be possibly for another decade be the same as it is now. And somehow people are still blowing up from it. And since we're talking about blowing up, don't get me started with the meat writers always hitting you with the same go-to answer. Well, actually, the rap game is supposed to be this way. It truly shows how they express themselves about their lifestyle and their experiences. Excuse me? Not only are you waffling about nothing, but every single new rapper nowadays is rapping about the same thing over and over again. I mean, it's pretty much a copy and paste at this point. You got your usual standard female rappers blowing up out of nowhere saying the same exact things as if it's some sort of new talent out there from like the planet Mars or something, and majority of us are trying to figure out what it is while the minority is over here sitting here swearing up and down how these female rappers are the best thing ever known to man. I mean, if you don't miss me with that, I'm really starting to believe that we're living in the Matrix. I'm really starting to believe they're just blowing up because of their looks. And when it comes to the thug life, we can't forget about the thug life starter kit. We got the baggy pants that sag to the lowest of the low, the standard issue speaker so people can play their drill music out loud to everyone so everyone can hear about it, the gang sign cheat sheet, and their influencer stats of being at 100%. I think we all know how much the thug life can influence black people, especially when it comes to the suburbs. I don't know what it is, but black people being in the suburbs can either be a positive or a negative. I mean, the positive, which is what everyone wants and what everyone expects, is having your average top pristine black person out there achieving, trying to get their money up and not their funny, and actually getting a high school diploma and trying to get a bag. And while the negative side of it is pretty much get the bag with a little extra steps to it, and those little extra steps can really make a difference to who the person is about to be in the future. The ones that want to be a bad boy and the toughest person on the block, running around like the school bully and pressing people for no reason, going and getting in trouble to build up their stats and character, and trying to boost their reputation up so they could get that street cred that everyone talks about. And don't forget about the major problem here, claiming you're from the hood while being in the suburbs. I mean, you can't make this up. They live right next to Robert from down the street, but they're from the hood though. And why does it come down to it where the only way to be part of this community is by either being a hooligan or be a part of the struggle that not everyone has came from? It's like not everyone is going to come from that struggle. Everybody's gonna struggle on something, but it doesn't have to be a struggle to where I'm living in a demolished city like it's Detroit and now all of a sudden I'm a part of the community. Like, it's such a backwards and weird mentality to even have. I mean, look at the recent Kai Cenat riots. And while it wasn't genuinely his fault, I think we could all agree that Kai should have done better and actually understood his type of fan base that he had. Because out of all places he did his giveaway was New York. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pressing people, the Bronx, 7-foot rats running their own gang, the sewer system that always seemed like it's alive at night. And while the giveaway was just doomed from the start, there is always that one bad apple who is plotting on people's downfall, coming up with the next diagrams and calculations for the atomic bomb, and plotting to start chaos. I mean, there's a reason why we call these people menaces to society, but for some reason people forget about it when things go south. And these types of people people want to go full anarchy and will go out their way destroying property, destroying people's livelihoods. All of this for a PlayStation 5, by the way. I mean, let's be honest here. Imagine fighting an onslaught of people for a PS5. I mean, the chances of you getting that PS5 is already low in itself, but if you somehow manage to get that PS5, do you not understand your chances are literally about to be 0.0%? Knowing that everyone in that crowd is looking right at you, as soon as you take one step off the premises, they finna rob you. A major problem with these scenarios and events is mob rule. And why is it always when one person does something, everyone else has to do it? It's like an on and off switch in our brains. We see someone not taking accountability and going on a rampage, we all want to do it now and decide to trash the whole place like it isn't gonna come back at us in the future. I mean, we hate these stereotypes but proceed to follow them. And I would never understand it, but truly believe it's the influencers, the rap culture, normalizing things that we shouldn't normalize, and social media, which are making everyone feel like they can do whatever they want because Ice Spice says so. You can't make this up. With that being said, let me know how you guys feel about the thug life. Are you a thugnificent yourself, or are you just the average person just trying to live life? If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. With that being said, it's Josh signing off.